It's here. Yes, the new M11 Pro with THX amplifier technology built in. And I'm going to compare it to the original M11. So, but without further ado, separately I'm going to unbox it. Now, some people seem to like the unboxings and some people don't like them, but it also gives a chance for people to ask questions, and those questions result in me adding stuff to the review. And so I get useful questions about, will they work with this software? Can you try such and such IEMs? Although do check my site here.reviews for what stuff I already own. If you go to the about section, you can see what stuff I already have, or hear, especially if you ask me if some obscure in-ear monitors work with say a DAP and I don't have them, well, I can't test it. So I don't have everything. If I had everything, I'd have to have a house the size of an apartment block. But anyway, they've updated the M11, and so this is the story, which with the THX technology, which seems to have been very popular. They had THX modules for the Q5S, or Q5 and Q5S, and you could also use it on the M7 and M7 Mark II. But I don't know if they really would have made that much benefit. I didn't get to try one, so I can't answer that. Now the player, please remove this protective film before use. Wow, so it gets a protective film. That we shall do. Though I carefully polished up the M11. Obviously, it's the same chassis, and the bottom, as far as I can see, just looking at it, is the same. I can't see any difference in position in anything. Yep, looks all the same to me. Nothing to identify. Oh, this has got Pro written on the bottom, and the other one has not. And we only have one micro SD card slot. People are going to be disappointed. I'd heard about that, but I mean, you can get cards up to 512 gig, although I think probably as things go, it wouldn't be surprised me if 256s are cheaper. But if you have that, you're not going to use that much music. Some people are. I use Tidal. I offline a lot of Tidal onto the card, and I actually have a playlist which I assemble from stuff I listen to on Radio Paradise, which is a great free, ad-free and donation-supported radio station. As usual, we have coax out, same coax out as before, and a USB-C to normal USB plug in the box. But the main thing, of course, is if you've already seen my previous videos, you will know what's in the box. If you haven't, I just did this video also for people who go, what's in the box? And then you can check that, because they might want to know. So the coax adapter is for connecting to a hi-fi system, or something like often people connect to a Hugo 2. There doesn't seem to be anything except paperwork in there. We'll just skip that. There was nothing. If there's anything exciting in there, I'll show it in the review. And that's it in the box. So, question is, how is this going to sound versus the original M11? Well, I know how the M11 sound. M11 has been pretty good. It has sounded, I've been using it actually today, mainly with Bluetooth headphones. Sound quality has been pretty awesome. Very, very good value. I mean, you can get better, obviously, but for a lot of music, it was fine. So that is the question. A few people have already bought them because FiiO pre-sold some of them, especially in China, to ensure that everything was working perfectly. I'm going to go. I think I had gesture control set on this one. Okay, return to previous menu, return home, switch to recent tasks. This is the gesture version if you don't use the back and other buttons. Trigger in-app function, swipe from the left, right, top or bottom edge of the screen to enter. That's always, I don't really like swiping, because you kind of think, ooh, is there a function hidden somewhere in this app? Kind of me, I think swiping in phones are generally awful. Anyhow, setup I've changed mine very slightly, but it looks pretty much what we've had before. So if you need to, now you can update the firmware very easily by setting that up, and I have to connect that to my wireless to do that. But otherwise, it probably looks like we're going to have much the same kind of interface as we had before, with which we had before with this. So if we go this down to back to the beginning, we end up back at the beginning. So I'm going to have a listen. How do you reckon it's going to sound? And what would you like me to test with it? I do have the Sony IR Z1Rs here and quite a few headphones. So, and of course, good old Campfire Solaris, which is a bit of a standard now as well, and the Andromedas. So, what do you reckon? And also, again, check my the About page on here.reviews for me to see what stuff I have here. It should be up to date. If it isn't, I'll probably update it. There's probably a couple of things, like I haven't put the Sony in here. And let's see how we go.